Hi guys, Drew here, and it all comes down to this. Game 7, Stars versus Caps. The Caps have battled through 6 big games, and now it only gets decided by one. Stay tuned for this video today as we break down what to expect in Game 7 for my preview of the Junior Caps. It's been an unbelievable season with the Junior Caps, and now it all comes to an end Thursday, which could be tomorrow, depending on when you're watching this, or it could be game day, or it could be the day it's uploaded. But what have the Caps done this season in order to get into this Game 7? They won on a 21-6 record, swept the Paradise Warriors, swept the Avalon Celtics, and now they'll either win in 7 or lose in 7 to the CBN Stars. It'll be interesting to see how they're able to get their techniques out there as they try to shut down the Stars. But let's run down how the finals have went for the Caps. In Game 1, the Caps won 3-1. A pretty strong effort there from the Junior Caps to open up the season, open up the finals, I should say, in the Mary Brown Center. Game 2 out in Bay Arena, the Caps get shut out in Andrew Ackerman show it out there. The Caps win. The Caps lose 5-0. My bad. And then in Game 3, the Caps OT winner by Noah Boland is able to give the Caps the 6-5 win. First ever goal for the kid in the SJJHL. Kudos to him. Game 4, back out in Bay Arena, Caps lose 7-1, another heartbreaking loss for the Junior Caps. Now, in even more heartbreaking fashion, Caps lose 2-1 in OT in the Mary Brown Center as they force Game 6 out in Bay Arena. The Stars did. Green got the OT winner in Game 6, and then Game 6 in Bay Arena. You kind of expect the Junior Caps to possibly lose based off recent non-success in Bay Arena. They lost 5-0 in Game 2. They lost 7-1 in Game 4. But in Game 6, Scott Kirby comes out for the first game of the finals and shuts the door down. A 2-1 win for the Junior Caps. And now, Game 7, Thursday night. It all comes down to this. I know I said a lot of Game 7 this video because it is a preview for the biggest game of the SJJHL season. Now, I want to talk about a bit of the toughness, the rough stuff that we've had, why the rivalry is as big as it is. The Junior Caps and the Stars have played in the finals for the 4th straight year. The first year it was taking place, the Caps were actually won in an OT penalty shot to win the game. What a way that would be to end the game. Imagine that happened in Game 7. Would be absolutely bizarre. But anyways, the next year the Junior Caps were able to lose. They ended up losing on home ice to the CBN Stars as they were able to crown the champs of the SJHL that year. Last year, the Junior Caps were able to win the Taylor Cup and move on to the Don Johnson Memorial Championship, I should say, on home ice against the CBN Stars. And now, for the 4th straight year, will the Junior Caps be able to defend their title as Taylor Cup champions? So, in Game 1, I believe it may have been, Owen Wright went with Kennedy of the CBN Stars, went toe-to-toe. I don't really know if they didn't really drop their gloves completely. Helmets didn't go off, so they still had cages on, so they kind of want to throw their fists with gloves, you could say. Pretty nice tilt overall. Nice way to open up the series and see how far it could go down. Won't expect any rough stuff really in Game 7 until one team wins, because there's definitely going to be a lot of chirping in that locker room and well, between the locker rooms, I should say, possibly. And some players that have heated up in this year's finals. The one player that I really wanted to mention was Noah Boland. This guy was an AP player, as I mentioned before in my Drew Talks Caps episodes, and in 6 games for the Junior Caps in this finals, he has 2 goals, 2 assists for 4 points. Not quite point a game, but in the finals you don't really expect that, to be quite honest. It's obviously low scoring games, as I mentioned in the games before. So Noah Boland, his 2 goals were actually game-winning goals, as I mentioned, the OT winner, and he scored the game-winning goal in Game 6 to give the Caps the 2-1 win over CBN. Expect him to be a key player in Game 7 as he heads out in the Caps uniform, representing the Caps and trying to get them the Taylor Cup. Some players that may be out in that game, in Game 7, Justin Heptich is likely to be out. He has an upper body injury and is week to week, so he probably won't make it for Game 7. as well for Patrick Hurley. I don't expect Hurley to make it for Game 7. Right now, he's only played 5 games in the regular season. Reasoning for that is he is eligible to play for the Junior Caps, but he's actually at Dal University in Nova Scotia. So he isn't really able to play much games for the Junior Caps. He was able to get into 5, but in the regular season, hasn't played any playoff games. Would be huge if he could make it into Game 7, because he is a really, really good player, lethal on that power play. And so, yeah, he's likely out. Some of the players to mention, Jordan Winter has been a really good forward. Andrew Vitch been really good. Zach Hocko as well has been solid, as well as Nolan Avery that have possibly done really well and could possibly be key factors into Game 7. Now, I want to mention the goaltenders who could be the starter for Game 7. This has been the biggest question, I think, throughout the playoffs. Who will be the starters? Because the Cats have 3 very solid goaltenders, and it's really a big question on who they can trust the most in Game 7. So let's talk about the goaltending stats throughout this year's playoffs. Jack Barrington in 4 games has had a 3-1 record and a .934 save percentage. Not too shabby at all for Jack. He's had himself a really good playoffs. Besides that one loss, of course, versus CBN, letting in 6 goals. Not 6 goals. He only let in 2, so not too bad. Was running off the wrong game. But yeah, Jack Barrington, really solid in this year's playoffs, and maybe he'll keep it going depending on if he's in net for Game 7. Nathan Hurley in the playoffs, he's been solid. He has a 4-1 record, so the most wins out of any Junior Caps goaltender this playoffs, and a .902 save percentage. He has the lowest save percentage out of all the 3 goaltenders I'm about to list. So I don't really think he'll be the starter for Game 7. Now, this is his final year in the Junior Caps uniform, so maybe they'll give him the last chance to probably end out his career with the Junior Caps. Maybe they'll do that. Only time can tell what happens here. But the next goalie I'm about to list off has probably been one of my favorite goalies in this year's playoffs. Scott Kirby, a 3-0 record. He has yet to lose a game this year in the playoffs for the Junior Caps. A .964 save percentage. The kid is unreal. The Junior A pickup played this year in a bit of hockey in Amherst over in Nova Scotia, came down to the Junior Caps, and he has shown that he's proved that he can be the starter in Game 7. If I had to place my money down, he's my guy for Game 7. I think it'll be Kirby starting, then Barrington backing him up, and then probably Hurley being the E-bug or something like that. That's my expectation. Don't know if it'll officially happen or not. Only time could tell. And now I can guarantee you who will be the starter in Game 7 for the CBN Stars. Andrew Ackerman, who's been a big piece for the CBN squad, has been making a lot of saves, has a really good pad setup as well, I should say. I mean, if Kirby was in net, the mask, awesome mask from Kirby versus the awesome pads in Ackerman. Now, Kirby has pretty nice pads. They're just plain whiteout pads. Nice from him. But yeah, so Andrew Ackerman in his 7 games played for CBN, he has a .940 save percentage. So not too bad at all for Ackerman. He could be a really, really, really big threat in Game 7, as well as some other players I mentioned that could be big threats on CBN's roster. I've got Andrew Ackerman, Alex Crane, and Damian Laundrie. Crosby as well has been really good. Not Sydney, of course, but he's been really good as well. And so the Junior Caps have kind of had this own technique on how to stop Alex Crane. And I noticed at the beginning of the series, he was potting in most shots that he'd shoot. And now as the later games have went on, he's kind of he's had really good chances, but he just hasn't been able to make the goal, score the goal, I should say. Defense has been really smart on him, as well as the forwards. Nice play, defending Crane. Damian Laundrie as well is a really, really good player, really fast. He probably is the fastest player in the entire SJJHL, not even, no doubt about it. I mean, Andy Knight may come close, but Damian Laundrie, have yourself a bow, kid, because he's really good. And then Crosby, of course, he's kind of like the playmaker to Alex Crane, can get him in those good areas. And then on the defense, Dawson Crane's pretty good as well. And some players that may have a really good effort in this Game 7. One player in specific that I've noticed this playoffs hasn't been Hasn't scored much goals, hasn't racked up much points, but has been there when the time comes right. Austin Bryan had a really strong effort in this year's playoffs. The line was him, Heptich, and Hako. I'm still going to say is probably the best line through the Junior Caps playoffs, and I'm going to expect him to be on the line with Hako and Sheamus best in this Game 7, as they may be out with CBN's top line because they did that pretty well in that Game 6, so only time could tell who the Caps put out in Game 7. So, some leadership from the Junior Caps. Who could be their biggest leaders? I got Jordan Winter and Zach Hako on my board. Two guys that'll definitely try to push this team to glory in winning the Taylor Cup. And this is all that you've been waiting for. My final predictions for Game 7 of the Taylor Cup Finals. I've got a pretty good game, to be quite honest with you. And not gonna lie, I think it's gonna be the exact same score from the Four Nations Final, Canada versus USA. I got the Junior Caps winning 3-2 in OT. Come on, I can't bet against the Junior Caps. I'm literally probably gonna be rooting for them, and actually I will be rooting for them in Game 7. So I got them winning 3-2 in OT, and in case you're wondering who scores the OT winner, the golden goal you can maybe say, I've got Andy Knight to do it. So it would be pretty nice to see if Andy could do it. He's been really clutch this year for them in the playoffs. Can he keep it up in Game 7? Only time can tell. The next episode of Drew Talks Caps, the winner will be decided for the Taylor Cup. Hope you guys enjoyed this ride this year. It's been really fun calling a few games for the Junior Caps and doing recaps for them as well. Hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, you can like this video. You can subscribe if you really liked it. We're on the road to 300 subscribers, so if you can hit that subscribe button down below, I'd really appreciate it. That's it for today's video, guys. Who will take it all in the final dance? Caps, Stars, next on the Drew and I, the Hockey Guy YouTube channel.